Okay.
Okay. I'm not Bigfoot, I just like a duck. Come in. Hi, my name is Titus Upham, and I'm an enrolled member of the Blackfeet tribe. And I work here on the Blackfeet reservation and work with our families, and also one of our local native pastors here. And been pastoring here for 20 years. And so the little story that I have, I never did ever see Bigfoot, but I have found Bigfoot tracks numerous times, and it's always been up along the Cutbank Creek area, about 17, 18 miles west of Browning, towards Glacier National Park. And but one story I'd like to talk about was in 1998. I took a group of from our church. We all went on a church picnic up there by the Cutbank Creek area, like I said, about 18 miles west of Browning, above a little community called Star School, about 7 miles west of Star School. And there were several families there. We had a cookout and played horseshoes and just had a good time. And then after the cookout was done, we started to visit, and it started to get dark on us. And we had a campfire going. And we were just all around the campfire visiting, drinking good campfire coffee. That's the best coffee. If you never had good coffee, you want that campfire coffee. And so we were drinking our campfire coffee, and then it got dark. And at that time, we had one of our a gentleman that attended the church was also a game warden for the tribe, and he was there with us. And we had another gentleman there that was also a police officer from the Blackfeet tribe. He was also there with his family, and so we were just having a good time visiting. It got dark, and the river was probably about maybe 50 feet from where we were at with the campfire. And I'd say there was about 30 of us. And while we were visiting, just across the creek, it sounded like to us that's where this yell came from. Just the loudest yell you could hear. And like I said, it wasn't a growl, but it was a regular yell, but it wasn't a human voice either. And so when we heard this yell, of course, it startled all of us. Kids start running, kids start crying. You know, we were trying to get all of our kids into our cars, our vehicles. We finally got everybody into the vehicle, and but the campfire was still burning, and I knew we just couldn't leave the fire. So I told the police officer, he was off duty, but he still had his weapon. And I told him, I said, Leonard, I said, grab your gun. I said, let's walk with me to the river. I said, I got to get water. So we had to walk to where this thing yelled at us from. And so we walked over to the river, and it was pretty pitch dark out. And got to the river. I got my water. He was standing there with his pistol, and he did shoot into the ground to make a noise to try to scare away whatever this thing was that yelled at us. And like I said, it was very close. The yell was not more than probably 60 feet from us, because it was just on the other side of the river, maybe 70 feet. And so we got the water, we put the fire out, and talk about an eerie feeling, you know, and we left. And later on, as we were visiting about the incident, the police officer had told his wife, he said, I hear something, but I don't want to scare anybody. I'm going to go to the truck and get my gun. And so he did. So he had already heard something in the brush. None of us heard it. We were all visiting, laughing, and just having a good old time. But he had already heard something making noise in that brush. And so he went and got his gun, and he was just standing with us around the fire, and holding his gun. We didn't know he already had it. and that's about the time we heard the yell, and it was at a high volume, a really loud yell. And if I didn't have a sore throat, I would try to yell like it, but I don't want to do that. But anyway, so there wasn't just one or two people that heard this. It was a whole group of us, roughly around 30 people. So we all heard it. We all know what we heard. Like I said, we were out of there. It didn't take us long to have all of our children loaded in the car, and we got out of there in our vehicles. And in the same area, I did find some Bigfoot tracks. I was walking up the Red Blanket Hill, and I found tracks there. And I'm pretty tall, and I have long legs. I have 40 leg length. I have really long legs. And the footprints that I saw on the ground, they were also going up the hill. Well, actually, my daughter spotted them first. My middle daughter, Melanie. And as I looked at them, you could see the makeout of the toes and everything. And as we looked at the tracks, we looked at where they came from, and they went down he came from the valley and came from the Highway 89. And so we traced the foot tracks all the way back to Highway 89. And when you get to the highway where the gravel is along the road, you could see the foot tracks there. And so I don't know exactly whereabouts he crossed the highway at, because I couldn't find his foot tracks after the highway. But he came from the highway all the way over and up Red Blanket Hill. And so I took my stride, and I put my stride as far apart as I could, and I barely made the one stride of those tracks. So he had a long stride, and I had my legs stretched out as far as I could with the stride. And I got, like I said, I have real long legs, and so his strides were very wide, and very footprints were pretty good size. And as we stood up on the hill, as we looked down, we could just see the footprints all the way through the grass. You could see where the grass was down. And even one area where he stopped, the grass was down where you could tell he was moving, like, I don't know if he was looking different directions or what. And then we just continued to follow from the direction he came from. And so we know he went up over the ridge. I don't know where he went from there. But we tracked him all the way from the Highway 89. And a few years after that, I was up on Divide, and me and my cousin Donnie, we drove up to the base of Divide Mountain. We got off, and we just no longer got off the truck and started to walk. And lo and behold, there was foot tracks there again too, Bigfoot foot tracks. And so we got pretty nervous up there. We turned around. We just got right back in the vehicle. We didn't hang around, and left. So we didn't have a rifle with us. We didn't have anything. But we saw those tracks. We got out of there. And then I'm sure people talked about, and people seen the video of our dog that brought that leg to our house. That was the only physical evidence I seen. And the part that amazed me about that, the leg, it was the whole leg, from the hip joint all the way down to the feet. And of course all the flesh was ate off, but there was bone all the way down, and it was just like a human's leg. It had the knee joint all the way down to the ankle, and only by at the ankle there was a little bit of fur there, because everything was eaten off. Something ate it. And the sole of that foot, that one of the things that amazed me about that foot was the sole was like the padding of a dog. But only thing, it was like the bottom of a human's foot, but with the same kind of padding that a dog has. Just how a dog's foot feels underneath is how that padding was. And the nails on that foot, was another thing that really amazed me, because the nails looked perfectly groomed. They weren't claws. They looked like just like somebody went to a salon and had nails taken care of. They were so perfect. That was what really amazed me. And then right between the toes, right at the base, there was a little bit of webbing, and that was another thing that caught my attention. And so that that was about what I've seen physically and heard. However, like I said, I never did actually see a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. I go out in the mountains a lot. I do keep my eyes open more now, more alert. In the area up there where I seen this, we heard this yell. There's been people talk about seeing a lot of grizzlies. I've never seen a grizzly out there either. Just this past fall was the first time I seen a mountain lion out there, and I'm up there walking those ridges all the time. I never did see a bear. I did see rocks overturned. I did see bear scat, but I never did ever see a grizzly bear. Seen black bears, but never seen a grizzly bear. Nor did I ever see a mountain lion up until this fall. And I lived in that area. I grew up there, and all the years out there, I've never seen no wildlife, but I have seen remnants that they were there. You knew a bear was there. You knew there was wild animals there because they left their marks. And the same way, I've never seen a Bigfoot, but I have seen foot tracks also. Just like I've seen grizzly foot tracks there. I've seen wolf. I've seen mountain lion foot tracks. So I've seen all the evidence of things being around there. Just never seen the things. Never seen the animals. So that tells me we know grizzlies are real. We see their tracks. But a lot of times we never see them. The same way with this. I've seen Bigfoot tracks, but I've never seen the Bigfoot. Just like I've seen grizzly tracks, and I've never seen the grizzly. Well, I never had a grizzly growl at me either. But this thing yelled. It wasn't a growl. So I know there's something out there. I have a theory. Since I'm a pastor, from my knowledge of the Bible talks about Nephilim, and it talks about these giants. And in my mind's thought, I know the Bible says that Jonathan and David killed the last of the giants. But always my thought was, is Bigfoot some kind of carryover from Nephtali and Nephilim? Is it some kind of a carryover? Why these things are here? Because we got a lot of Native American stories of them spotting stories about giants. So to me, I think there possibly is some kind of connection there. But that's just my own personal theory. Of course, another pastor friend of mine shared the same theory with me. He had the same exact theory. So that's Pastor Joel. Some of you know Pastor Joel Cornelius. We kind of shared the same theory there. But anyway, with that, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.